What's up, everybody? Fire Chicken back here in the scrapyard. Just kicking it with Chicken tonight on a very, very great 4th of July. I don't know. Nice weather out here today. Fireworks going off. So, just doing a kicking it with Chicken, okay? I guess we can go over a couple things. So, I'm just winging it because, I guess pun intended there. But I don't got nothing wrote down for tonight. So I'm just kind of hoping on some people getting in here and wanting to ask some questions and answer some stuff for you guys. So I would have started this earlier, but I came up here and I wanted to start on some videos. So, I'd say each video that I do from the fights takes about an hour to 2 hours to edit each. So every one of these videos that you see me put up, I got an hour to 2 hours into each of them. It depends. Some of them take longer. Some of them are pretty quick. So if the fighters decide they want to make it a quick match, makes it easy on me. If there's some big shots in there, well, I got to do a lot of editing because I like to put those slow motions in there, and that takes a lot of time. So let me see who we got in here, guys. I don't know. Sometimes this chat thing don't work right. Restore chat. Anybody in here? If you're in here and you've commented, give it a thumbs up because I'm not seeing any chat on my right side. Guess I could open it over here.
Let's talk cash app. Want to move money instantly with a few quick...
We got one thumbs up. Let me see if it's in. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's working. All right, guys. Next event. If you're in the scrapyard group, I got the next event listed for July 31st. So, yeah, all the way at the end of July. One thing about this event is that it's our 1-year anniversary. So, we're just going to have some really good fights. I'm just going to put it that way. We're going to have people returning you haven't seen for a while. We're going to have some title fights. We might even try some stuff you've never even seen before. So July 31st, I've already got a lot of big names signed up on it. And if you want to know, go to the Scrapyard Facebook group. That's where we do all our dealings. So weather's been good lately. You know, like I expect, like it's hard to say, but it's acting like a pretty hot summer. So I'm thinking that the weather's going to hold out and we'll have another good one. Hopefully not as hot as the last one. That one was unbearable. That was 100 degrees. You might hear like a high-pitched whining noise in all the fights that I'm putting out. That's basically just an air cooler we had set up because it was so damn hot out. It's not going to be a normal thing. What else is new in the scrapyard? I just got a shipping container, so we're going to graffiti that all up, put some logos and stuff on it. I'm going to use it to store equipment in and all the stuff for the events. Basically, it makes setting up the events a lot easier. But, appreciate everybody that's donated, that's helped with that. I did, for the most part, just spend my own money on that thing, but I do get donations from people like you guys in the super chats and at the events and stuff. So I do appreciate that because that stuff goes towards these really expensive items that we use for the scrapyard. So what else? We got t-shirts right now. All I can say, people, is with the shirts, you kind of gotta be here at the events to get a shirt, to buy a shirt from me. I don't ship them out generally. I have in the past. I shipped one to a friend. He was supposed to ship me one of his, but that never happened. So that was kind of a trade. Yeah. So, anybody got any questions tonight? I know there's probably people out enjoying the 4th of July. Yeah. So, I'm not going to try to pitch this to you guys, but I will put this out here. So I've been pretty busy on doing the fights, the final edits of them, right? And when I finish them, what I do with them is normally what I used to do was I would take them and I would just put them on my YouTube channel and they'd be hidden until they were ready to release, because I can't release all these all at once. I like to release content throughout the month until the next event. That way you guys continuously have new material. If I drop them all at once, you guys are going to watch them all and then you're going to be like, hey, when's the next fight's going to be out? I don't want to do that. So yeah, I drop them every day or every other day, give you guys fresh content. So what I used to do is I would take them and I would drop them on my YouTube channel, and they would be a hidden video or a private video. But then I started that membership section, the paid membership of our channel. So what that gets you is it gets you the alternate angle of the fights the day after I film. It's something I don't have to do, and people are bitching on the, I made a post about it on the YouTube community tab, and I made a post about it on the YouTube community tab in our group, and people were bitching about it, saying like, oh, hey, that should be free. Like, what they don't realize is that the day after an event, I come up here, I take all the footage of the alternate angle, and I sit here for an entire day, dropping that into an editing program and putting it on the channel. I don't have to do that. I don't have to give you guys an alternate angle to watch the day after, but I do it. So, it takes time out of my schedule. I don't, I could volunteer for work, like overtime at work, but I do this instead. So it's compensation. You guys doing the premium membership, and that's compensation for it. That's just how I'm going to say it. It's not necessary. You're not missing out on any content, like, per se. If you don't do it, you still get to see all the fights for free. I'm never going to do this to you guys. I'm never going to film something and then be like, hey, if you want to see this fight we just had, yeah, Jose, I keep explaining it because people are dumb and they don't get it. It's like, how many times do I got to say the same damn thing, but they bitch about it? So I'm just saying, it's not something that you got to do. But what I was getting at is what I started doing recently was when I finish, okay, I'm going to get to your question in a minute. Okay, whatever. So what I've been doing is when I finish an entire video, edited, slow motion, titles, stats, everything ready to go online, that goes on my YouTube and it's hidden until it's ready to drop. But what I do for the premium members is I make it premium content so that they can view that video prior to it being released to the public. So paid members get to see the final product a day or two. Maybe sometimes it's only like an hour or two before I release it, but I always give them that option. I do need to do the alternate angle. And the reason is because my alternate angle, first off, if I have a problem where one of my cameras dies, and I had that happen this event, I had a camera overheat and I had to rely on my second angle for about 15 seconds of footage. It saved my ass. And I've lost footage before, mainly from a bonehead camera guy that we got rid of. But so that's one. It's a fail safe. It's alternate footage in case the main angle goes down. The second reason I do an alternate angle is because when I do the slow motions in between rounds, I do those at a higher frame rate generally. unless the camera gets reset and gets put on 60 frames again. But I usually do it at 128 frames, so it's more pictures per second. So when I do a slow motion, it looks a lot smoother. I use those for my alternate angle. Hey, Gaio, happy 4th of July to you too, bro. I use that alternate angle as slow motion footage. So I'm gonna be doing a third angle, I think, on this next event, and it's not going to be something I'm even going to upload to the alternate channel or the paid channel. It's just going to be alternate footage that I might sneak into the main videos every once in a while. But if you remember, I did the drone a while back. Well, it was basically like a high camera angle because the drone just sat there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a GoPro up on a pole. I'm going to give a high camera angle. I might use that. Maybe not, but you know what? I got a GoPro to use, and I might just make that work. You know, it might make for some cool footage. Anybody got any questions? I've been doing a little bit of training. You know, I got out to Warrior Strength out in Lacey the other day. I gotta do some sparring with Ghost, Preacher's Son. I rolled with Jay Gotham. A bunch of people had fun. They got a little bit of footage of it, but I posted some pictures on my IG. That's Streetbeefs underscore Scrapyard. You can look us up on IG. I post every once in a while. Yeah, man. No, I enjoy the shit out of this. I really do. That's why I do it. That's the reason I do this. If I didn't enjoy this, I would get sick of it because I got to deal with a lot of people. I got to deal with like attitudes from fighters, prima donnas, people. I don't want to call anybody out, but for the most part, I don't. But you know, like some people don't want to fight certain people, which that's fine. But you know, it's a lot to deal with. And you got people that'll message me like a whole ton. Like they message me like off the hook all the time. They're really needy. Then you got people that are straight up crazy that have this. It's almost like I owe them something. And if they don't get what they want, they throw a little fit and they talk shit about me in the scrapyard. Anyway, most of the time, those people find their way out of the scrapyard or they leave. They realize that this social environment isn't for them. We are respectful out here. We get along with each other and we punch each other in the face. If you can hang with that, you're going to get along fine in the scrapyard. So it's a great community. And one thing I'll say about the scrapyard is a lot of people come out here and you want to know why we do this. First off, I enjoy doing this, like I just said. But what are the fighters getting out of it? The fighters are getting exposure. The fighters are getting a chance to fulfill a bucket list item. They're getting a chance to meet new people. They're getting hookups on or linked up to different gyms in the area so they can pursue their fighting career. Some people that come through here want to use this as a stepping stone. They'll come out here, have some fights, then they'll move to the next level, amateur MMA, and then eventually professional MMA. And hopefully they don't forget about us, you know, because we want to keep in contact with those people. It's a good group for everybody. And if you're in the Facebook group, you know, you already know. So let me see if I got anything here. Goes with the territory, I suppose. Just thinking it might free up some time. Yeah, it would free up more time, but like I said, I do get a lot out of this, and I enjoy doing it. But you know, I don't think so. Back to the premium thing. I don't think it's hurting anybody. Like if people don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. There's plenty of people that do it, and I try to give them content. So, hey, Abe, what's up? Gumby is, yeah, he left to fight amateur. I don't know if he's actually had an amateur fight yet. I think he's on contract or something with his gym. So haven't seen him for a while. Haven't heard from him for a while. It'd be cool if someday he came back, but yeah, you know, I wish him the best of luck in his amateur fighting career. So, everybody have a good 4th. I got tomorrow off too, so normally I wouldn't be up this late on a Sunday. I forgot it's Sunday. You know, it feels like a Saturday to me. That's probably why we don't have anybody on here. Saturdays, we usually have like 30 people on here, but it's low numbers today. Hey, you know what? If you got something to ask, now's the night to do it because I did barbecue. We did steaks and corn on the cob. It was great. Favorite patriotic movie? Ooh, geez. Patriotic movie. I need some examples. Come on. Give me like a list of examples. I just don't know. I mean, like war movies or I do. So with some of the fighters, I do have them come out. I coach them. I help them out a little bit. You know, I want them to. I want them to get better. So I'll show them some stuff. Will Streetbeefs come to Canada? I have no idea. Scarface is in charge of. I liked Independence Day, the first one. That one was good. That was a good patriotic movie. I'll go with Independence Day. I'm not in charge of any branching. In fact, Scarface he's the man. He makes all the decisions. I get asked probably every other day, can I start my own street beefs here? And I'm just like, I don't have any control over that. I know everybody wants to do this same thing, but if you realize how much work goes into running a branch of a backyard fight organization, first off, you got like local laws you have to deal with. Some states are not friendly to do this kind of stuff. Cali, no. I don't think Nevada is. I don't think Oregon is. I don't think. Basically, like Texas, Virginia, and Washington, those are your mutual combat states that are kind of okay with doing this. So you can't just start one anywhere. I mean, you can do it, but you would have to do it like illegally, and that's not. We're not into any illegal stuff. We want to keep this. We want to keep this straight. So, but anyway, Scarface is ultimately responsible for any branching. The only branches that are here now are the Scrapyard in Washington State, West Coast, and they alternate between different states. Anarchy, which is in Texas, and OG Branch, which is in Winchester, Virginia. So if you're wanting to fight, you need to find which one of those is closest to you. If you live in the middle of the country, you're kind of screwed. You're going to have to go one way or the other. And to be honest, I would personally suggest you go to Virginia. Not that I'm saying don't come out to us. We would love to have you out, but you know, it's Streetbeefs Virginia. They're the ones that started the whole thing. You know, Scarface. He started this back in 2008, and he's grown it to this cultural phenomenon. I mean, it's huge. It's the biggest backyard fight organization in the country. Yes, there are big ones outside of the country, but as far as like throwing fights inside this country, backyard fights, he is the biggest one. His videos get the most views. He's got the biggest following. And one thing I can say about Scarface too is, do you know any other host who's more recognized than Scarface? He's literally done thousands of fights, announced thousands of fights, and his image, his voice, it's all synonymous with backyard fighting. It just goes with it, you know. I look up a lot of backyard fighting on YouTube. I do it for, I guess I'm just interested in it and seeing other stuff too. But there's some pretty pretty janky stuff out there. I get some people are just starting out, and I wish them all the best of luck. Hopefully you guys that are doing your own are keeping it as safe as possible, because that's the most important thing about backyard fighting, in my opinion, is keeping it safe for the fighters. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do. You got to have you got to cover your bases. So I implement like certain rules and stuff, and make sure certain things are on track to be there in the event of a medical emergency. So yeah, I do watch other ones. Some people don't have their cameras right, their camera work down. Some of them will have some stuff, but not all of it. Their editing will look bad, or they'll have really good editing, but their content just doesn't look right. Whatever. But I do pay attention to a lot of them. Sometimes I'll go comment on them. I try. I try not to say anything negative to any of them. How did you score your fight against A Train, and how did it feel fighting a pro? I gotta say, like, it was kind of intimidating fighting a pro, because it was something I'd always wanted to do. Call it a bucket list item or whatever, but you look at a pro fighter as being the top dog. They're fine-tuned machine. They know how to control their air. They know how to not make very many mistakes. They're hard to crack when you're in there, and that's exactly what A Train was. You see me, I go out. I was cautious at first, throwing really light punches, trying to see how he reacts, trying to time him, and we got more into it and stuff. And I never really let my hands go, because I was trying to stay cautious. I was looking for some openings, and to be honest, it's hard to score. Like some people say like one of the rounds that I scored him in, they're like, no, you won that round. I'm like, well, okay, I can't even score this thing. But I would honestly, like, you could say he won it. You could say it's a draw. Some people said I won it. So it's just tough for me. People watched it; they could score it however they want. Some people think block punches count. I rewatched it today. One guy's like, A Train picked you apart, and I go and I watch it, and it's like, I don't think that honestly he landed any more than I did. I did block a lot of shots. He was more elusive, so I missed more shots on him. So the ones I didn't hit him with, who's calling me? Who's calling me in the middle of a live? Dude, why is this dude calling? Go away, man. I'm busy. Anyway, yeah, so some people scored it that way. I feel like those blocked punches, I don't think that they do anything to you really, like in a match. So hey, what's up, the Reynolds? How you doing, man? Yeah, I don't think that they do anything to you, and I don't count them as shots. But anyway, so anybody got any questions for the Fire Chicken tonight? I'm still releasing videos. I got like a few of them. Like I just edited one. I just edited Scorpio versus the Reaper. Now that video right now is sitting, and it's called rendering, I guess you could call it. So anyway, it's rendering. It's basically when you put it into a program, you edit it, it sits there and renders, and then when it's done, I drag it, I put it on YouTube, and it takes time to upload to YouTube. So I got a few of them sitting on YouTube. And let me get I got like 20 people in here. Let me get your guys' honest opinions. So it's not something I intentionally go for all the time, but it happens. At the events, I'll say, does anybody want to do a grappling match against anybody? It's an option. And I'm thinking about making a grappling belt. Okay, This grappling belt is not, it's going to be open weight. To win the grappling belt, you have to have the most wins in the, you have to have the most grappling wins. So you don't even have to go against the champion, whoever has the belt, to actually get it. You just have to have more grappling matches in than them. So I'll get to your question in a minute, okay, bro? I'll answer that one. So my question is would you guys like to see a grappling belt with more grappling? But listen, I'm not going to flood the channel, this channel, with grappling content. I have my other channel. I will link it to you guys right now, and I plan on dropping them on. Hold on, I can't type and talk at the same time. Okay, so I will drop them on this channel right here, so you guys don't have to like see too much of the grappling content on here. Some people like it, some people don't. I get that, and I want to cater to the majority and not the minority. So I'm going to be putting the majority of the grappling content on that channel. Yes, Kenneth, I do. I don't like to send them out. But if somebody pays me more for the shirt than I'm charging to cover shipping, I might. Hey, Buddy V in the house, purple belt, premium member right there. But if people want to send me more money to cover shipping costs, I could go out of my way to send him a shirt. You have to get a hold of me on Facebook. Anyway, back to this grappling content. So, like I said, I don't want to flood the channel with grappling content. I want to make the other channel more grappling oriented, and I want to do mini events where I have people come out and we just grapple. We do the 1 5-minute round. I'm still going to edit them, and I hope that this other channel builds up. It's actually building up. It's got like almost 500 subs. Go sub to it right now, because some of the grappling content on that channel is not on my main channel, this channel. So anyway, okay, what I was originally getting at. So I don't think anybody will have a problem with a grappling belt and these grappling matches, so long as it doesn't deter from the main content, which is fights. So maybe like one grappling match per month on this channel. The rest of them would be on the other channel. Cool? If you see it say BJJ and you don't like it, whatever, skip it. I will get back up to your question. I do see it. But what I wanted to get at was I did a grappling match this last event. So we had a guy travel from Arkansas. As I said, they're open weight. You'll see me on the other channel grappling guys that are like 250 pounds. I had one where I was grappling a dude that was, let me see if I saved it. I might not have saved it, which would be a shame. But I was grappling a dude that was 220. Yeah, I don't think that one got saved. Damn it. Shoot. That one I wore my jiu-jitsu gi on. And that was against Black Hawk. But I'll put it all on that channel. But I did a grappling match against Monkey. You haven't seen Monkey yet. I think the matches, all these matches are on the premium membership. So Buddy V can go and look at them. Also, as a premium member, you get some of these little guys. And a neat little belt next to your name to show how long you've been a member. So anyway, grappling content on the secondary channel, always free on the secondary channel. But that sound means that a video is done. So bear with me here. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to answer your guys' questions. So while I'm uploading this really quick, feel free to think of a question to try to stump me with. It's our 1-year anniversary, people. I want to take a trip down memory lane here in a second, actually. I feel like I can't even say I feel this way or whatever, because it is what it is. We've come so far. Output, hold on. Bear with me. I don't multitask well. I like to focus on what I'm doing. Any of you guys that have seen me doing like the riding with chicken and stuff, yeah, if I come to a stop or something, if I'm in traffic, I tend to, yeah. So hold on. We'll put this one on. This is Scorpio. Oh, that didn't turn out right. Versus Reaper. Okay. Oh, this will be available for this is a fully edited video, but it'll be available for the premium members here in probably about, well, to be honest, however long it takes the video to upload. Submit rating. I like to get your guys' opinions also. Like, so if you're a premium member, you get a chance to see it first. And sometimes you guys call out stuff that I miss. Like, you're like, oh, age. Okay, here we go. I'll look at questions really quick and see if we got any. And then if we don't, or I'll answer them first. I do have that one question I want to answer. I'll go back. Hey, morning is up, bro. I am going to get to your fight eventually. I promise, but I'm a busy guy. Happy anniversary. Thank you. Thank you. Why did you pick Sasquatch as a mascot, and who designed the logo? So as you know, we're in Washington State. Washington State is a hot spot, a hub for the Sasquatch. There's a lot of sightings and stuff that happen in Washington State. Washington State. Oh, dude, no, I'm not gonna avoid your question. The thing is that I think that dude is trashy, and I don't want to associate with him, and I wouldn't even want to touch him. I mean, it sounds like a cop out, but I mean, I don't have any interest in anything that guy does. You know, at one point he was like up there getting lots of views, subscribers were up, all that stuff. And from what I understand is his subscribers are frozen. He's not getting any more. His views are like way down. But you know what? It is what it is. I don't care. So we're our own thing. That's old news. So, that's why we have Sasquatch as our mascot. Who picked the logo? Who designed the logo? So, I mean, I found that picture on, first off, Martin Rubio down in Cali. He's the one that sent me the full on design of that logo. So he basically, Martin Rubio in Streetbeefs West Coast, is responsible for the design of this Streetbeef Scrapyard logo and everything. And this is my favorite logo. Like, we have other ones, but this is my favorite. Hey, Greg Cobb, thank you. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate hearing stuff like that. So, taking a trip down memory lane, okay? Ooh, what channels do I like? This is a good question. That's cool because, you know, when you're running a channel, you gotta look. You gotta look at like what other people are doing, and why do I watch somebody else's content? Why would I want to watch Street Beefs, for instance? They're good fights. They're good camera. They got good presentation. The editing's awesome. You know, it's like, that's why I want to see Street Beefs, right? Okay. So presentation, all that stuff. You're here for memory lane. Good, because it's going to get there in a second. So yeah, I tend to watch stuff that has a lot of heart into it, when you can really feel. So first off, you got to enjoy the content. It's got to be something you like. But when you see that somebody puts their heart and soul into it, that they're really going that extra mile, I love seeing that kind of stuff. I'm gonna tell you something that it has nothing to do with the type of content that I do. But I watch this guy. Hold on. Okay, his name is Mr. Ballin. Mr. Ballin. I started watching this guy like quite a while ago when his channel was a little bit smaller, and he's jumped up to 3.15 million subscribers. He does like these stories, and I don't know. Just watch it. Maybe you'll get hooked on it. But like some of the stories I like listening to are places that you're not supposed to go, but people went there anyway. They're all true stories apparently, and he has a really good way of telling stories. Morningstar. Who would I match you up against right now? So I think if Ponyboy or Pookie came back, Ponyboy would be a good one to match you up against. I would do that one. Yeah, I gotta look at my heavyweight roster, man, because you're moving up on that heavyweight roster. You beat El Perro, and El Perro. Oops. You fought El Perro, and El Perro is he's good, man. He's good. So I just got to look at that heavyweight roster and see what I would do. But I mean, I'll figure it out. I always do, right? Tiger Dragon, it's good seeing you in here, bro. Seeing you at every event, helping out. That's what I like. Okay, it's time for a stroll down. That heat killed me. It killed everybody. Jeez. So what I'm going to do is, first off, we started our YouTube channel in February of 2020. I started the channel when I started to get an idea that I wanted to do some sort of a backyard fight group and film fights. Now, at the time, I had a Facebook group that, it had a couple members in it, mainly local people. We were throwing a lot of ideas around. And I would go to work and I'd do this job called fire watching. What that involves is me sitting like on a backside of something and watching in case a fire happens, which, I mean, it doesn't. And then sometimes what I'd do is, like, if I had an idea, I'd write it down really quick. And I basically made this whole book of goals, ideas. I like detailed everything I wanted to do at the scrapyard, like the way the ring was set up, the cameras, everything is all in this little booklet. So they look like this, right? And basically, I'd sit here. This isn't the one. I just sit here and I'd write different notes in it, and yeah, man, I started planning. So February I started the YouTube channel. I didn't upload anything on the Scrapyard channel until like April. So April comes around, right? We come up with the name Scrapyard Fights. Not sure about how many. Actually, I am sure. Let's go to YouTube Studio. Not sure exactly how many subscribers we had at the time, but I guess if I can go to my analytics here, it'll tell me everything. Overview. Subscribers right here. You can actually go to lifetime. I'll tell you. Oh, geez. So, yeah, like I'd say I didn't upload a video until May, actually. May was the first time I ever got a subscriber. Okay, so May was when I first started, and it was like 0 subscribers a day, 1, 0, 1, 1. And then July comes around. Okay. So up until this point, what it had been was, I'm going to go to uploads. I'm going to go to, I'm going to sort them by date, oldest. My first video I ever uploaded has 313 views. It was a sparring video with me and Moses and I. Then I did a sparring video with me and Ian, who is a training partner of mine. And then another one with me and Ian, and then me and Ian doing some wrestling in the yard, and then Michael Fury Way, and then doing some sparring and some grappling with Jaron, and then Rylan. And so it's all sparring stuff, right? All sparring stuff until we have our first event. Now, at the time, we had our first event scheduled for July 24th. I think that's right. July 24th. Before that, I got a hold of Scarface. He said, "Hey, why don't we be Street Beef Scrapyard?" And boom, we had the ring already done and everything. I had people coming from Cali, from different states, all over the place wanting to fight in my backyard. It was really cool. Our first event, I mean, we only had I'd say 10 fights, 12 fights. Now, I was uploading those all to the main channel of Streetbeefs. So, my channel didn't really grow at all because those were all going on the main channel. And I was just doing uploads of sparring, live sessions, some interviews and stuff. You go back to my original stuff, and you could see how awkward I was in front of the camera. I mean, if you can't tell the difference between how I am now versus how I was then, I mean, you're blind. I'm just going to say that. Okay, I'll get back to your guys' questions. I'm going to do a big question thing coming up here, but I'm going to just roll right through the memory lane. So, Fight Team 206 hooked up with us. I would say around the time that our first event happened. I did an interview with them. You can find that on Fight Team 206's channel. We had Demigod come out. We had Drunken Master come out for our first event. We had people flying out. We got some big names starting, like Gumby Gash, Pookie, Brickhouse. And those were some names that started to really take off. We had Ugly Boy come out from Las Vegas. True Grit, he fought on our first event. Running Man. So back then, like I said, we didn't get to upload the fights onto our channel until about the second event when they took. So the main channel took most of our fights, but they let us have a few of them to put on this channel. And that one of those was Pookie versus Brickhouse. Video right now is at 596,000 views. So that video between Pookie and Brickhouse helped our channel out a lot. You got other videos like Arm and Hammer versus the Running Man, which is 116,000. Nick the Brick versus the Preacher, not the Preacher's son. That's got 39,000. 24,000 for Karate Gandalf versus Aries. Man, my video didn't do very good. So we were growing, right? And eventually something happened with the videos on the main channel, and they removed all of our videos from the main channel. But I went back and I re-edited all the videos and I uploaded them to our channel. So now all of the fights that have ever happened on the scrapyard are on our channel. And since then, I would say that happened in January-ish, but back in what was it? November. So this was at the height of COVID, and we had to do our COVID friendly event, and we did that in November. We also had Pete come out with his cameras and start filming in slow motion and alternating camera angles. And he stuck around for a couple months helping us out. And we took December off to build our cage. That was the cage was a result of a lot of effort, a lot of donations, my sponsors pitching in, buying stuff, doing work, and we got that cage built, and it's beautiful. So, what's up? Yeah, really. So, due to the efforts of a lot of people, we got that cage built. Moving on, January comes around, 35 degrees out. We have our first event with a new cage. One fight that happened that month was the preacher's son. No. Did that one happen that month? I don't think that one happened that month. But anyway, we were uploading all the fights to our channel with the new cage. And once that happened, our channel really started taking off. I'll go back to our analytics really quick. So January 17th, 12 subscribers, 10 subscribers, 29. Okay, now we're getting into February, 39, 86. These are daily, 168 subscribers a day. March, 105, 129, 202. I mean, some of them are dipping down into 165, 111, 216. Now we're in May, 405. June, April. Let's see, April. So June, we've had some up to 643 in one day subscribers. So it's really taken off. Sometimes it just takes one video to kind of go viral, and your subscribers just shoot way up. And that's like you guys right now are the subscribers. You're watching this. Hopefully you guys will all get a chance to get in here and comment and tell me what you guys like and what you don't like. One thing you'll notice is I try to stay really open to constructive criticism with you guys. So I make polls. I try to talk a lot with you guys. And for the most part, I get a pretty good feedback with doing that. So I don't care who disliked it, whatever. Memory lane. So yeah, anyway, we started out subscribers continuously going. We hit 10,000 subscribers April 3rd. And right now we're at 35,000, I don't know, 35,500 or something. I think it's something like that. 35,600 we're at right now. So yeah, that's huge. It's crazy because as somebody who always sets goals for myself, I tried to make my goal for 2021 10,000 subscribers. I made that goal in December. And when April hit and I hit 10,000, I was like, well, now what? I started looking, I was like, well, okay, 50,000. shoot, we're almost there. So it's like now I made my goal up to 100,000. I want to have that by January of next year. So hopefully we can accomplish that. It looks like it because I'm just continuously trying to improve our content, making it more fun to watch, trying to do more stuff with you guys. What does the name Fire Chicken come from, and where do you get the chicken for the pictures? What chicken? Oh, the chickens are mine. We have chickens out here. I've got like 11 of them. I think 10 of them are named Becky. But if you ever come out to the fights, that's one part of the scrapyard. So I try to make like the environment of the scrapyard special for people that come out and partake, fight, help out, are part of the team. We don't really hold it for spectators. There's exceptions. You have to get a hold of me personally, and I have to work something out as far as you being a spectator. But for the most part, we're not open to spectators. It's private property. And we do this for YouTube. But I try to make the environment, I got these cutouts of Sasquatch with plywood. I got signs everywhere. Don't feed the Sasquatches. So, like all that kind of stuff. It's fun. Fire Chicken comes from, I've always had this, I wouldn't say it's an obsession, but my first car was a Firebird, a Trans Am. The name Fire Chicken is a slang term for the bird on the hood of the Firebird, the Trans Am. So Fire Chicken, it's a name I got. Like I've always had a Fire Chicken, and when I fought MMA, that was my fight name back in like 2009. I got some of those fights on the YouTube channel. You can look for throwback fights on there, and they're posted. So, do I have any upcoming fight videos? Because do you mean like our fights? Because I'm not gonna drop one tomorrow because I dropped one today, and that's completely dependent on how many fights we have per month. So if I have 15 fights and we have 30 days in a month, then you get a fight every other day. If we have 30 fights in a month, you get a fight every day, as a viewer. So it just depends. But I got a fight coming out in 2 days. I don't know which fight it'll be. So that one's just up in the air. I've got probably 5 that are sitting on my premium access right now that people can watch. 4 or 5 that aren't, they're actually completely done and edited. But you can also watch the completely unedited raw footage of all the fights from June 24th. They are on that paid membership. And let's be honest, people, $2.99 a month, is it really that big of a deal? It's optional, don't have to do it. I'm not, okay, whatever, I'm not going to get back into that. If you want it, take it. If not, move on. Okay. But I believe he said it was, well, that's the thing though. There's more than one branch of Streetbeefs, man. So like it could be us. It could be the one over in Virginia. It could be the one down in Cali. So who knows? I don't know which one your brother's fighting on. So Street Beef Scrapyard, that's the one in Washington State. What do you guys think of the intro? Should I cycle it in and out and just do the Sasquatch roaring every once in a while? Oh, it's in Washington. Yeah, it's a scrapyard then. Is that Josh Thompson? What is the best martial art? Man, that's such a hard question. Okay, I believe every martial art. Try to think of this in my perspective here. Okay, so let's say your average person on the street, your average enemy. Okay, you're in an unavoidable situation. You have to defend yourself. Not feeling the music. That's okay. Now everybody likes rap. You're in an unavoidable situation. You have to use what you know. Think of it like, what do most people know? What's your enemy probably going to know? Okay. So as a martial artist, as somebody who's done martial arts for the last 15 years or more, I can tell you that the majority of people that go out and try to hurt people and start fights don't have a lot of traditional martial arts training, or they don't have a lot of traditional martial arts training. They don't have a lot of training. What they have is experience in street fights. And I'm generalizing this a lot, everybody, because everybody is different. Every opponent you'll fight is different. So what you're going to try to do as somebody that wants to make themselves more effective against these bad guys is try to cover as much of that percentage of what's out there. Okay, right? So, I mean, I think the two things that people know the most are going to be boxing and wrestling. So first off, you're going to have people that are just street fighters. They're going to throw winging haymakers. That's going to be the most likely. That's going to be like 98% or less. We'll say it's like 90%. You're going to have a percentage, and I'm making up these numbers, so just bear with me. Then you're going to have a percentage of people that actually know a couple things. Maybe they wrestled in high school. Maybe they were in karate classes as a kid. Maybe their dad boxed and they showed him, their dad showed them how to box a little bit. Are their skills going to be really sharp and kept up on? Probably not, because they're out starting fights with people. You have a general level of discipline when you are in a gym training and have sharp skills. You're not going to be going out there and using those skills to hurt people for the most part. There's always exceptions to the rule. I'm going to keep throwing that out there, because don't take everything I say, take it with a grain of salt. You know, we're kind of brainstorming here. But so what I'm getting at is the majority of people have no training. Maybe they have street fights and they feel tough because they have that fortitude. They'll go out, they'll try to knock somebody out, and they've probably knocked out more people than they've been knocked out. So they have confidence. That's a big one, confidence. Okay. With that, you can actually beat a lot of people. Two people fighting each other, one has confidence, one has no confidence, same skill level. The one with confidence is going to win. The other person's going to back down and turn their back and get demolished. Oh, Blaine. Yes, he fought for us. I don't know if he's going to fight again. I think that was who. Yeah. So anyway, back to the question. Then you're going to have a percentage of people that wrestled, that boxed, and had karate. Each of those different, I think he fought. Look up Blondie versus Simo. Streetbeefs, Blondie versus Simo. Is that him? Anyway, then you're going to have a percentage of people that have some old knowledge, whatever, wrestling. They might know how to execute certain moves, but not with really good precision. You know what I mean? Like they're not practiced up on. So if you're going to learn a martial art to combat the majority, which is the 90% that I said, I would say boxing. Okay. And here's why. Most people, again, majority, are going to come at you aggressively because they have confidence, and they're going to be throwing punches trying to hurt you. With boxing, if you learn how to cover up, how to move your head, how to slip, how to parry, how to roll, how to angle, you will exploit any of these people that just come out and throw haymakers. You will exploit their lack of understanding with boxing. You're going to pick them apart. They're going to come in, they're going to throw that haymaker, you're going to roll under that big right hand, you're going to jab, you're going to hook. They're going to not know what to think. They're going to come at you more. They're going to throw punches, you're going to block, you're going to look for that opening, you're going to go straight. you're going to pick them apart, okay? Next, I would say if you had two to pick, you're going to want to pick wrestling next. And this is why. Fights a lot of times go to the ground. So if you're picking somebody apart with punches and you can keep them away and not able to take you down, granted, these people aren't skilled wrestlers. They're not college level Olympic wrestlers. They're not going to do a beautiful double leg takedown, pick you up on their shoulder, and dump you. That's not going to happen. Not with this 90% that I'm talking about. So that they might freak out and try to get a hold of you, though, once you start picking them apart. Now, you can keep them away with your punches, especially if you utilize some inside boxing. But oh, okay, then he's probably signed up, man, for next month. I got a lot of people sign up. So anyway, back to this. I'm kind of into this now. So next thing you got is wrestling. Okay, so say that situation happens where you get this 10% of people. I can't say 10%. You get this percentage of people that have knowledge from a long time ago. So you get somebody that did wrestling when they were a kid. So if you're skilled with boxing and wrestling, and this guy comes up and grabs a hold of you and he tries to do this lame wrestling that he learned back in the day, and you cross face him and you prevent his takedown, you've nullified that unpracticed ancient knowledge that this guy has. Same with boxing. He comes in, he's throwing these kind of wild punches. He kind of knows how to cover up, but you've been practicing, you're in shape. You know how to beat his limited knowledge. So I'd say boxing and wrestling. Even Bruce Lee said this. He said, what was it, 6 months or a year or something? I don't want to get the quote wrong, but he said 6 months or a year of Western boxing and wrestling can take out a martial artist of 20 years. And he's right on that. Those two skills, those two martial arts cover your ground and your striking. But now let's move on. Say you want to cover more of a majority, or you want to cover a bigger base. So you started out, you covered most of it with boxing. To be honest, most people are going to get covered with some smooth hands. Then you got the rest of it is going to get covered with wrestling. Okay, but then you got to take it a step further. Okay, and I think the next one that you're going to want to learn is kickboxing. Not necessarily Muay Thai, but Muay Thai. You could go with Muay Thai because of the knees and elbows, and those are very crucial on stopping wrestlers and boxers and different people that like to come in close. So you're covering your kicks, you're covering your kick defense, you're adding to your striking, and you're preventing more takedowns. The next one I would say is, man, this one's tough. You could argue and say BJJ. Everybody goes for that. But let's be honest here. And I'm not putting down any BJJ guys, but I think that there's better martial arts out there for takedowns. And I would say that judo is probably better for takedowns as far as grappling goes. Now, judo offers submissions and all that kind of groundwork too. I feel like your wrestling is going to take care of your ground, though. If you know some basic submissions on the ground, the advantage that you get from judo with the takedowns and put people in bad positions, and the fact that you can end a fight with slamming somebody. So folk style wrestling, you're already able to pick somebody up and slam them on their head. But you add judo into that where you can hip toss somebody and slam them on their back and just completely eradicate them. if there's anything left of them on the ground, you don't need to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu to stop that. So my skills that I would say, if you were going to pick one, boxing. If you're going to pick two, boxing and wrestling. If you're going to pick three, boxing, wrestling, and Muay Thai. If you're going to pick four, boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai, and judo. And then if you're going to pick a fifth one and make it, if you're going to make it mixed martial arts, because come on, mixed martial arts, I'm going to get into this in a second. Mixed martial arts versus everything else. Everything else. And I'm going to get into that in a second. So the disclaimer on this is it doesn't matter how much you know. That 90% guy that knows nothing could still come out and overhand right your ass and put you in the hospital or kill you. You don't want to fight on the street, people. You don't want to do it. There's some bad shit that could happen. And it doesn't matter how much you know. Guy could have a lead pipe tucked in his sleeve, and you could be going for some freaking flying armbar, omoplata, whatever, and now you're dead. So you don't know what the mindset of other people are. You don't know if they're on drugs. Somebody could be on meth. You could put them in an armbar. They could let their arm completely snap in half, and then they could just beat you into the ground with nothing more than strength and no pain at all. So that is why you don't want to fight on the street. But you should always be prepared to defend yourself in the unfortunate and unlikely event that somebody is going to put your life in jeopardy. And that's why you should have some basic skills. Boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai. You could basically pick a number of different styles, mixed styles too, whatever. But what do I got? Gash is here. I'd rate Muay Thai clinch really high for self-defense. Yeah, but I would too. But and Muay Thai will cover. I would say just like boxing, it'll cover that majority. But if you get somebody that can do a sloppy takedown and you go for a knee to the face, unfortunately with Muay Thai, that knee is right there. And if you get dumped on your back and you have no wrestling experience, you're in for a world of pain, because wrestlers' whole goal is to keep you on your back. And if you don't know how to breathe when you're wrestling, that's another thing. You're going to gas out really quick. Abe said bear spray. Now, a lot of people bring this up. They say, well, I always have my trusty 44 Magnum in my side holster and I'm good. Or I got this neat little pokey thing that I keep on my keychain and nobody's going to get close to me. All right, well, what if you go for what you were going for and it slips out of your hand, you drop it, you drop your taser, you drop your gun, and then what if the guy clocks you in the face when you drop it and you're laying there with a broken nose sideways, gushing blood all over the place. You can't see because your eyes are watery. And you're looking for your gun, which is just a blur on the ground. And before you know it, you're getting shot in the head because dude picked it up off the ground. I'm not saying don't protect yourself that way, but anytime you bring another object into the mix, you're risking a sack of coins. Yeah, you're risking danger to yourself. The best thing that I can say that you ever want to do in a confrontational situation is to try to talk your way out of it. It might sound like you're being a punk, but I'm telling you, you get out of it, you live to fight another day. And if you get put in a situation where there's no backing out of it, you're getting cornered by a couple people and you've taken a year of boxing, you might just come out of that situation with 3 people and 3 of them laying on the ground. It could happen. I'm just saying. But there's really no substitute for training and staying in shape. Weapons and that kind of stuff, they're not really a substitute. So now I'm going to talk about something that it's a topic of discussion. Which martial art, like we just discussed, which is better? And I said there's really no martial art that's better because you don't know what your opponent knows. But what about mixed martial arts? Mixed martial arts is better than all of them. Any one martial art, mixed martial arts better than. Mixed martial arts better than boxing. Mixed martial art is better than wrestling. Mixed martial arts is better than judo. Here's why. Because as somebody, we'll say, break it down on numbers for you here. All right. And now I got a reason why I'm saying, I got a reason why I say, or a disclaimer after this here in a minute, but if you're a mixed martial artist, say you know 5 different martial arts, and we discussed those 5. Say you've got 20% of your knowledge in each of those skills. So I spend 20% of my training boxing, 20% of my time wrestling, 20% doing Muay Thai, 20% doing judo, and 20% doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. So if I go up against a guy that puts 100% of his training into boxing, if I try to use just my boxing against this guy, just my boxing against somebody that puts 100% of their effort into boxing, I'm going to get my ass kicked. I am 20% efficient or 20% as good at boxing as this guy that puts 100% of his effort into boxing. But if I put 20% of all of my martial arts into this guy that has 100% in boxing, he goes to throw a punch, I change levels, I shoot a takedown, I take that guy down. He has absolutely 0% experience in getting up, so he can't combat my wrestling. He has 0% chance of defending submissions against my BJJ. If he gets back up to his feet and I still have a hold of him, he has 0% chance of surviving a hip toss. He has 0% chance of checking a leg kick. He has 0% chance of knowing how to cover up properly for a knee strike to the face. But if I want to be stupid and use my 20% of boxing against his 100% of boxing, I'm going to lose. So, in general, mixing it up and being a mixed martial artist is better than knowing how to do just one thing. Let's take another example. So we covered my boxing. 100% of boxer goes up mixed martial arts. Okay, now we're going to go a wrestler. Okay, so I got 20% of my wrestling, and he's got 100% of his wrestling. Okay, he's going to go against me. If I try to just out-wrestle this guy and put him on his back, I'm going to get wasted because my wrestling is not as good as his. It's 20% as good as his. However, I have judo. So judo is going to try to, it's like Greco-Roman wrestling a little bit. It's going to move my wrestling up a little bit. You got BJJ also. So he comes in, he goes for a shot on me. Let's say I know enough that I can stuff one of his shots or maybe keep him away. Well, my boxing and kickboxing is going to combat that. Say he does get me on my back eventually. My Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that he knows 0% of is gonna choke him out in pretty quickly. Wrestlers tend to leave themselves pretty open when they have no knowledge that they're in any danger in that situation. So, boom, there we go, mixed martial artist again. These are examples. These are not definitive examples. These are things that could happen. Next one up, Muay Thai. All right. Somebody comes out, they throw a kick. That's easy. Wrestler shoots on him, takes him down. Maybe they go for a clinch to try to do the Muay Thai plum, want to drill you in the face with their knee, and you grab a hold of the leg, you pick them up, you slam them. Okay. So yeah, your 20% of your Muay Thai is not gonna combat their 100%, but the rest of your martial arts are going to combat their one style. Same with everything else. BJJ, that one's a little tough. That one's a little tough. So it's like everything goes downhill, right? Fight winds up on the ground. What I think would happen with a BJJ person is they would have a really hard time taking somebody down that has boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, judo, and BJJ. They're not going to get that takedown generally because of their all their knowledge is in basically submissions with some takedowns, but it's more like pulling guard and butt scooting and tripping and that kind of stuff. You're going to get like your singles, your power doubles, that kind of stuff from wrestling, your hip tosses, your head and arms. Well, that's wrestling too. Your shoulder throws, all that stuff with judo. So yeah, that's my basic breakdown of how a mixed martial artist beats a one-trick pony. Can a one-trick pony beat a mixed martial artist? Yes, and it has happened. It's happened on professional MMA levels. It happened with Tim Sylvia. Tim Sylvia versus, God, I'm sorry if I forget it, pro boxer, Ray Mercer. I might be wrong on that. I think it was Ray Mercer. Anyway, Tim Sylvia comes out, clocked. Yeah. I mean, you try to box a boxer and you got outboxed. That can happen. Or you got Lights Out Tony versus Randy Couture. Randy Couture goes out there and is smart. He wants to make sure he wins. He goes out there, he does what he does good. Dirty boxing. Puts him up against the cage. And implements his strategy and just dominates Lights Out Tony. So yeah, for the most part, I would say 9 out of 10 times a mixed martial artist is going to win against a pure stylist. Now, if a boxer learns how to stop a takedown, say you take a boxer, 100% boxer, and you teach him takedown defense, and that's all you teach him. You don't teach him leg kicks, none of that. Just takedown defense. And he goes in there and he's fighting, and a wrestler shoots on him, and he stops the takedown. Okay. Is that boxer still a boxer? Yes, he's still a boxer technically, but he's now mixing other martial arts into his style. He is now a mixed martial artist. He's still a boxer. His core is boxing, but he might only be 95% of his training goes to boxing and 5% takedown defense. You only got so much time to practice all these different martial artists. How much of a percentage are you putting into each one? You'll know when the time's right. You get put in a position and you're like, man, I really wish I would have upped the percentage of training this particular fighting style. But that's it for that. So the Reynolds says, hold on. Oh, hold on. I got a couple messages here, guys. Yes, Gash, you're right. A lot of people do buy guns and don't practice at all. You have to know how to operate them properly. You have to stay practiced up on them. I mean, you can learn how to box, but how efficient, how good does your boxing work if you take a 10-year hiatus and never box? Yeah, I mean, you know how to do it kind of, but it's not going to be that good. Yeah, if you know there's no talking your way out of it, you're right there. Um, de-escalate a situation. Yes, that is what I meant to say. I haven't seen the African fighting style that you're talking about. Do you deliberately keep your stomach unshaven to keep it real for wrestling? I noticed you rocking the belly button hair in a couple photos. I think it just grows that way. uh, yeah, maybe like I don't know. Yeah, I think it just grows that way. Easier to get a boxer to wrestler or a wrestler to box? Um, that's kind of tough. Okay, so from my experiences, it doesn't really matter. It's your openness to learn. Okay, if you're a boxer and you want to learn how to wrestle, and you put the effort toward it, you'll learn. And I don't think that there's any difference between like a boxer that learns to wrestle and a wrestler that learns to box. I think both of them have um who's this? Video chat. Oh, I ain't doing a video chat. No. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna get back to you guys. Yeah, I don't think there's any difference. I think that uh I just think that it's however much effort you want to put toward it. And I don't have a black eye. I don't. I don't know why I'm rocking the shades tonight. It's just a different look for the video, okay? Um can you send me a sponsorship packet? We don't have sponsorship packets. You know who my sponsors are? Peixotto and Bemer, Monica Batchelor. The reason why they are my sponsors is because in the beginning, when we first started, they were there. They rocked with us when we were nothing. They wanted to be part of what we were building without getting anything out of it. They were just there from the beginning. Those are the people I want to be involved with us, the ones that were there from the beginning, the ones that support us, that weren't just doing it for something for themselves, the ones that at first sight of uncertainty they jump ship and that's it. You know, that's not what I want. I want people that'll ride with us through the ups and downs, that aren't just trying to feed off of us, that are in this journey together with us. So that's who our sponsors are. I'm making my way down the list. I see a couple. Yeah, so we don't have sponsorship packets. Sorry. I would kind of say like Overtime Hustling is kind of a sponsor too. Sort of like we just advertise for each other. So I mention them every once in a while, and they mention us every once in a while. They're a good group, you know. Fight Team 206, you know, they rocked with us since the beginning. Concrete Breakdowns rocked with us since the beginning. You know, another thing too is what I notice when you start to build traction and you start to get more notice is you really notice people dry hating on you. And I'm talking about the ones that are close to you, but they don't give you no props. They never say you're doing a good job. They never give you a thumbs up. They never ever tell you to keep up what you're doing. They sit, they observe, but they never say anything. You'll notice they'll comment on a lot of other people's stuff, They'll tell other people good job. They'll shout out people in all their videos, but they never want to bring you up. They never want to say, you guys are doing awesome. Keep on doing what you're doing. So I see a lot more stuff than people think, but I know who my real friends are. I know who's been with us since the beginning. But sorry to bring that kind of downer into this whole conversation, but all right. Yeah, your belly button deep. You can't be micromanaging hair for matches. I don't know nothing about Wing Chun, to be honest. I know that I've sparred people that do it, and we boxed, and it didn't really. It wasn't. I don't want to hate on it. I'm just saying it wasn't effective toward my boxing. That's all I gotta say. It wasn't effective towards my boxing. It was very predictable. It was, sorry, I was reading a comment. It was really predictable and easy to see. So with boxing, you stay nice and tight, and when you notice a movement, you block it, and it's subtle movements. With a lot of martial arts, it's kind of looping punches and stuff, and more predictable. But I don't know much about Wing Chun, so I'm not hating on it. That was just my one experience with it. We need Jay God. Let's see. When is Shinigami coming to the yard? I don't know. I mean, we're here. I don't see a whole lot of him in our group. I don't see a whole lot of the West Coast guys in our group. They got their own thing going on down there in Streetbeefs West Coast. We've had a couple of them come up and fight. Canadian came up once and fought. But for the most part, they stay down there. I try to pop in every once in a while and say hi. I talk to Martin all the time, Alex sometimes. They're good people. They are. I love them. They're great people. But I feel like we should collaborate more. I mean, we're all street beefs. Why not? Let's talk about that really quick. You appreciate me remembering the fighters' names when I announce them. You are right. Okay. For somebody, we took a trip down memory lane earlier, and one thing that I failed to mention was my awkwardness in front of the camera. You're not born with that. You're not born with that natural. Well, maybe some people are, but I'm not. You're not born with that ability to talk in front of a camera in front of hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people, and not get nervous. And let's be honest, my video, Arm & Hammer versus True Grit, that's got like 3.8 million views on the main channel. 3.8 million views. Well, probably 3.5 million views and 300,000 Arm & Hammer views. I'm just kidding. No, like a lot of people have seen me talk in front of a camera there. I was really awkward back then. Sometimes I would just jump in there and not, like, I felt pressured to get the fight going, and I wouldn't take a second to say fight name and record, because when you got 60 people there to fight, sometimes you don't know their record. Sometimes you don't know their name. Sometimes I got to look at their gloves just to see what type of fighting it is, because they might have agreed for boxing, but they might have changed it right before the event and said, now we're going to do MMA. So like this fight I just did, I was like, yeah, they're doing boxing. I'm like, oh no, they're doing MMA. All right. So, yeah, man, like for the most part, the names, I got those down unless they're new. I mean, I did screw up Turtle's name like 40 times. The records, I get those wrong every once in a while, but even if I make a mistake on that, I correct it in in the editing. So I'm trying to get slick on correcting my word. Like if I slip something up too, if you pay really close attention, you can catch it. Like I'll make a glitch in the screen. I try to put that in as like an Easter egg. Like, yeah, okay, you caught it. Premium access, you get to see all the bloopers, all my screw ups. I don't screw up as much anymore, but I'm trying to be more charismatic, more energetic, more letting it just kind of roll, changing my tempo up a little bit, saying things different. So it's just like fighting. You get better at it as you go along. So let's see. It's not about the art. Let's see. Rooster fights. Yeah, I don't think those are legal. It's not about the art. It's about the person behind the art. Yeah, 100%. Nerd Rage may try to go Mayweather 50-0. Bro, he's a force. I do got a couple people I could put him up against, but these guys got to sign up too. I think every announcer has to be reminded often. Yep. Golden Hand's still fighting the scrapyard. Yeah, I think he's just on a little bit of a hiatus. Golden Hands is another guy that is like really true to the scrapyard, that loves us, that loves being out here, and he's always welcome. So I hope to see him back soon. I'd like to see him out there for the anniversary event, but cross my fingers. I get nervous just sending a comment. Why ain't Tangy Man in the ring? Tangy Man? I don't know who that is. Nerd Rage for the win. You need to sign a will if you're gonna fight Nerd Rage. Yeah, he's a beast. Yep. There's a couple guys that I'd like to see get down a little bit more, and then fight some of the top people in East Coast and West Coast. I would like to see those happen. Is Nerd Rage too big? Yeah, dude, Jay Gotham's like 185. Him and Viking Warrior dropped, man. Those guys, when they first started in the scrapyard, they were like 200. Jay Gotham was 205, and people were telling me like he's lying about his weight. He's like 210, 225. No, I think the most Jay Gotham's ever weighed at one of our events was 202. And then he got on a diet and like cut. And you're Tangy Man. I never even read your name. Yeah, so they're both down to 185. I worked out with Jay Gotham the other day and rolled with him a little bit. Dude's strong. Dude is strong. Crazy Legs, nice too. Yes, Crazy Legs. Very entertaining. Growing in skill every event. Meet me in the scrapyard. The great Ninja Master, yep. Dude, yeah. Jay Gotham did look 215. He did. You know what about the weights, though? One thing that I will say, and you'll catch it in the comments a lot when I go in and I defend our fighters a lot. Somebody will say that person's weight is wrong. And I'll look at it and I'll say either, you're right, I put it in wrong. It happens sometimes. My fight with A-Train, I was listed at 165. I do not weigh 165. I'm 185. So that was wrong. It happens. It happens in the editing. And once it's published, that's it. You're not going to go back and unpublish it and take the video down and lose the views and then republish it. That doesn't generally happen. So it's kind of forever lost with the bad weight. But I would say 99% of the time, the weights are correct. So how do we do the weights in the scrapyard? Is how do we do the weights? They come to the scrapyard, they sign their waiver, they jump on a scale. The scale is a doctor style scale with weights, and I have a scale operator who has their waiver and a pen, and they look and they get their weight and they write the weight down and they initial it. That is the official weight. And we do it with every single person that fights in the scrapyard. That is just a safety precaution in my eyes. Safety is the number one concern at the scrapyard. Making sure that the fighters are as close to weight as possible, that they either agreed to fight it or that their opponent is actually what their opponent is. Now you will see some matches in the scrapyard where you're like, oh wow, that weight was way off. Well, some fighters are like 190, like Cannibal versus Little Kit. That fight weight was way off, but we didn't have fights for either of them, and they basically made their own match and said, yeah, we'll fight each other. Okay, I'm good with that. But weight matters. People say, oh, size doesn't mean nothing, weight doesn't mean nothing. They're wrong. If you took yourself and you gave yourself 50 pounds of muscle and you fought yourself with 50 pounds of muscle, or you were 50% bigger, height, weight wise, you would get your ass kicked. Okay. Skill can make up for it. Okay. If you have 50% more skill than the other person and they're the same size as you, obviously you're going to win because you have 50% more skill. If you fought yourself and you had 50% more experience, you would win. Now, if you had 50% more experience and they had 50% size, that could be a wash. Who knows? So those are all varying statistics that can affect the outcome of a fight. Even 50 pounds behind a fat punch, yeah. Crazy Hands versus Nerd Rage? No. We have a ranking system out here at the scrapyard. When you sign up to fight, you need to list yourself from a 1 to a 5. Okay. A 1 is somebody who has never fought before, has basically no training, and just has put some gloves on and like, hey, I want to try this fighting thing out. Let's see how it goes. That's a 1. So if you write yourself down as a 1, make sure that's you. You're a 2 if maybe you have some training. Maybe you wrestled in high school. Maybe you're in really good shape. Maybe you're athletic. No, elbows are not allowed to the head. They are to the body. Basically, you have an athletic advantage or a skill advantage over somebody with no training. That's going to put you at a 2. A 3 is somebody that has a good amount of training and is in good shape. I've considered myself a 3 to a 4, somewhere in there. Other people will say other things. But a 4 is somebody that is high-level amateur. Like that's going to be people in our group that are going for belt fights are your 4s. And your 5 is basically going to be somebody that comes in, wipes out everybody and runs off and becomes undefeated and just goes on to do a professional career. So Crazy Hands and Crazy Feet are actually brothers. Crazy Hands and Crazy Legs are brothers. And there's probably 100-pound weight difference there. But Nerd Rage, he's looking like he's upper level, like a 4. Not putting down Crazy Hands or anything, but he's looking like maybe more around the 1 mark. But if he got some training and he could move up to that 2. But a 2 to a 4 is still a stretch. It's a lot of training versus minimal training. No pay-per-view. We're not doing pay-per-views out here. No, the scrapyard's not going to do pay-per-views. I guess BLK Prime is over with, so they're not doing those anymore. Who is the best boxer in VA Streetbeefs? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good ass question. The answer is, it depends. I'll give you a few. Granted, keep this in mind. I would like to watch every single Streetbeefs fight that comes out, but they put out a lot of content, and I can't keep up. I think Venom Black. If you're watching Venom Black, if you ever see this, I think you're a really good boxer. I think Big Beach, very talented, but he only had like one match. I want more. I want more than that. I think A-Train is a really good boxer. I think he's definitely top level. Not just because I boxed him, but I think he is. I do think he is up there. I think Fair Play is also another guy that is top level boxing. I got to watch more Bad News. I got to watch more of his fights. Showtime, very good boxer. The dude he just beat right before the last event, also very good boxer. Showtime, what's crazy about him is his knockout power. So if you look at boxers, look at it like this, okay? If you were going to box somebody, let's use two boxers and we'll say they're the same weight. If you were going to box Showtime and you were going to box A-Train, who would you rather box? I think most people would probably go with A-Train because, yes, A-Train's going to pick you apart. He's going to make you look stupid. Same with Fair Play. Fair Play is going to do the same thing. He's going to pick you apart, make you look stupid, make you miss, exploit your footwork, all that stuff. But what Showtime's going to do is Showtime's going to knock your ass out. The people would rather take looking bad than getting their ass knocked out. I think. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. Wolverine, yes, but I think he's only had like one Streetbeefs fight. So he's it's hard to put him on the list of top boxers. I would say, like, if I was going to give a Streetbeefs guy like on the list, they got to have at least a couple matches. Esteban, I think, is a really good boxer too. I'd like to see him box like a really high level opponent. He did fight on BLK Prime, and you did get to see him against a high level opponent. So, but there are also a lot of boxers that bring in something too, like knockout power, or they hit on different spots. But I think the people that I mentioned cover like the majority of it. Yeah, I am. I'm 185. I think he's like, I want to say he's like around 165 right now, 170. But I will say this, Iraqi Assassin, if you ever see this, since I went out to Virginia the first time in 2018, your boxing has grown exponentially. Like, you are so much better of a boxer than you were then. I'm not saying you weren't good then, but you've just improved your skill so much. And that's really cool to see, that you are keeping an open mind and learning and getting better. That's what we should all strive to do as martial artists, is always keep an open mind. I say it like this, like, if your knowledge is like a glass of water and you think of it as being full, like you don't want to learn anything, you can't put anything else in it. You've already filled up your cup. But if you think of your knowledge as being empty and it's always empty, then you're constantly having to fill it up and you're constantly learning new things. To me, that is how you improve. But you know what? It is 12:22 here. I've actually had a couple really good rants in here and conversations and stuff. I think this was a really good chat session. So, hey, you know what? Right now, if you see this, give it a thumbs up. Lets me know that people watched it. I appreciate it. Lets me know my effort wasn't in vain. And be on the lookout for fights coming up on the 31st. That's our 1-year anniversary. But in the meantime, you're going to get new fights every other day. So check those out. And leave comments, people. Leave comments for us. I love communicating with you guys. But I also love seeing your comments on the videos. Give positive, encouraging comments to the fighters. Even if you think they didn't do that great, tell them like, hey, suck up the loss, keep your head up, get back into it, get some training, whatever. You know what? That's what the fighters like to see. They like to see that encouragement so that they can use that to improve rather than get discouraged and quit. You don't want to see any of these people quit. You want to see them get better. All right, so it's been great. And with that said, Fire Chicken out.